To talk about Fresh and Fit. I haven't really done a Fresh and Fit reaction on this channel. I've wanted to do it since. Let me just put this on the screen really quickly.
Hey, we're trying to help.
I've wanted to do this since their first Boo Boo, right? These guys are essentially children in an adult body. That's my opinion. Very smart kids, good businessmen nonetheless. Honestly, I'm not sure about that. They haven't really been tested. They are blowing up right now. They're growing very, very fast. Okay. And frankly, additional reason why I have to kind of react to them, because they're getting buzzed, and I feel like some of the young men following them can hopefully stumble into these videos and learn how to move like a man in today's society. How to move like a man in today's society is different from how you move as a YouTuber who wants to blow up. Okay, that's different. So in a lot of ways, you have to have polarized, extremely polarized opinions to blow up a YouTube channel at the level they are. You have to say things that are extreme, that are not necessarily true, and you have to understand that that's what Fresh and Fit, Myron especially, tend to do very well at, and that can come with a cost. He can get cancelled, they can get slapped, they can hopefully not, hopefully they will adjust according to the times with time, right? But they're getting a lot of buzz right now. So let's look at this clip. Andrew Schulz, the guy in green, in the green shirt, check shirt, is a comedian. It's a guy, it's a comedian that I know from his other podcast, Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne. I enjoyed their podcast over the years. So let's watch it. And I think this other guy, I don't know his name. His name may be Flagrant, by the way. I'm not sure. But yeah, so they brought them on the show. So I want you to watch this and let's see if we can get some additional lessons out of this today.
The shit that
is difficult, bro.
No, it's fine. A lot of stuff you guys say in general, I think, is stuff that's kind of childish. Okay. It is. I saw a clip where you were like, "Oh, the nuclear family's falling apart. What do? I don't get married. Just don't get married." You're actually trying to help, man. Or are you talking to fucking incels who are 18 years old? You know what I mean? That's some shit you say to college. I'm gonna turn you from a simp to a pimp. All right, bro. Can we grow up?
I've seen 54-year-old men sound exactly like that. It is what it is, and so it's not just children, but it's something I find that is common to most of them. Their heart has been broken by women. That and I'm yet to find one person that it wasn't because of that. Okay, these are heartbroken men. You cannot ask them direct questions if you encounter them. Okay, you have to just listen long enough until they tell you the truth. Okay, you have to be patient, and they will eventually tell you the truth. All right. But yes, that's precisely why they come off that way. And yes, they will come off like a child, right? Even if they're 54, 55 years old, divorced, they will start sounding like children because that little boy heart has been broken. And that's why you see, people are very quick to tell you that, hey, who hurt you, right? And guess what happens when you say that? That's a direct question. They also fight back. That's a sign language, and they will generally return 2 times, 3x that sign language at you, right? Nobody hurt me. You're just a bimbo, right? That's what you're gonna get. But consistently, I've listened long enough. This shit is you can't make it up. You can't make this shit up. Okay. All right. So let's keep going.
You guys are self-help. Hey, we're trying to help men. So either we're funny, or help men and be real and be honest with yourself and don't have an ego like, I have a preference. Be honest. Have an honest conversation. And I don't think the manosphere or manaverse or whatever, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think there are people who are doing it really well. The roommates, Hafiz, right. That's who put me on to you guys. Great. But let's just be mature about what we feel. And part of that maturity is, it was a bad joke. I don't actually feel exactly that way.
I mean, if you guys feel that way, that's fine. But we make our content, you know what I'm saying? People enjoy it. We make jokes on it. We just only provide.
So it's kind of interesting that when they're talking to men, especially men that they look up to, because that's why they're on this podcast, that they're able to maintain frame. And that's a problem. I'll tell you why that's a problem. There is no frame to maintain because by default, you respect these people. See, your test in life will come from people that are not necessarily your superior in any dimension. Example, a bunch of ladies around, and they trigger you. Can you handle that? Are you able to maintain your frame in the presence of a bunch of ladies? That's really the real question, right? Let me block the trolls, right? The real question is, can you maintain your frame when you're being triggered? So now, this guy is actually trying to trigger them, but because they have so much respect for the podcast that they're on, it's not exactly working. So they may be giving themselves a pat on the back, like, "Hey, we maintained our frame," but not really. You're not in a compromising position. You're not in a space of insecurity right now. If anything, you're happy to be on this bigger podcast, right? So let's keep going.
Self-help stuff without any type of entertainment value. People aren't
agree
gonna,
with that.
I think jokes are.
So
I think it's a joke.
No, the
we have a
joke.
good time.
So I agree with him on that. We bring education, we bring some entertainment. We do that here as well because that's what gets the attention. So I agree with him on that. But that has nothing to do with what this conversation is about. That's another cap.
Again, I don't have a problem with the joke.
Have a good
I'm
time
telling
with
you
it.
guys.
I think it's clear. I think and I also would say this. I think it's very important that men learn certain skills, right? I think it's important that men learn how to fight. I think that it's important they learn how to talk, and I think it's important they learn how to
make money,
have sex.
and sex.
Yeah, I mean that, like how to have sex with a woman, not literally the act, but like how to get a woman to the point where they want to have sex with them. I think these are really important because I think the better.
It's saying that it's important that men has to learn game. Absolutely, absolutely. And one thing I can tell you right now is Myron and Fresh and Fit lacks game. Proven over and over again. That's why they're getting dragged all over the place. But hey, here's the irony of life. That's another reason why they're blowing up very fast. That's in like their platform is growing because you know what? Because a lot of kids that lack game can relate with them. So instead of exercising self-control and and just showing up like a player, they would rather just hold women accountable. And that's what you see their platform is about, right?
That men are at those three things, the better they become as human beings. And I think when you're not, right, you're a bitter kind of fucking angry
Of
dude.
course.
So
School shooters.
I think real talk. That's what happens with the school.
And I want to say
school
something.
shooter.
The shit
So we love
that
Asian
It's
girls.
difficult, bro.
no, it's fine. A lot of stuff you guys say in general,
Because if you just only provide, self-help stuff without any type of entertainment value, people
I
aren't
agree
gonna.
with that.
I think jokes are.
So
I think it's a joke.
no, the
we have a
joke
good time
again.
with it.
I don't have a
No,
problem with the
we have
joke.
a good
I'm
time
telling
with
you
it.
guys.
I think it's clear. I think and I also would say this. I think it's very important that men learn certain skills, right? I think it's important that men learn how to fight. I think that it's important they learn how to talk, and I think it's important they learn how to
Make money,
have sex.
and sex.
Yeah, I mean that, like how to have sex with a woman, not literally the act, but like how to get a woman to the point where they want to have sex. People have actually like found the science of getting laid, and at first it was like really exciting, right? It was like, oh, like there was a book.
So he read a book. Andrew is talking about he read a book, right, on game. So that's what he's talking about right now.
Came out called The Game by a guy named Neil Strauss.
Hey,
Do you guys know? And this
Classic.
is like the pickup artist movement kind of really happened
exact
around this
thought.
book, and it was fucking. And I remember reading the book, and I remember like talking to my friends, like, bro, you guys got to read this book. Like, there are people who have actually like found the science of getting laid, and at first it was like really exciting, right? It was like, oh my god, like they're like tools to this shit. It's not just rolling the dice.
So why are they having this conversation of getting laid? Obviously, that's what the Fresh and Fit platform stands for. As much as they like to shy away from it, this is about self-help for men. This is about protecting men. Like, no. Let's stop the cap. It's about getting laid, okay? Why are we talking about getting laid? Because y'all are not getting laid as a regular person. Not them now, because they've blown up. They have resources to buy getting laid, right? But majority of the people that are following them cannot afford. It's not sustainable to be paying to get laid, right? So that's why, by the way, again, another result. Look at results. Look at the actions. That tells you more than people's words. So as much as they like to pretend like this is about self-help, we're looking at the kind of conversations your platform is attracting, okay? We could say the same thing about myself, but precisely what I'm doing is I'm pushing against them. I'm pushing against them that what you need to learn is game. okay? Not holding women accountable, okay? Women are going to be women. Women are not capable to a large extent of what you're asking them to do in terms of being masculine and being intentional, being when it comes to a romantic relationship. A woman needs to be, a typical woman needs to be in her feminine. And when she's not in her feminine, it creates chaos because it's not a natural essence to have to show masculine energy.
Every time you talk to a girl, like there's things that you can actually do. And then eventually it was corny because I thought it was weird that if you thought you had so much value, you would have to devalue a woman for her to see value in you.
Boom. If you feel the need to devalue a woman, right, no matter what that looks like to you, even if you call it right and wrong, in order for your own value to show forth, that is corny. That shows that you lack game. Good point.
And I was like, nah, this is whack. Like, there's other ways to do it. Like, if you actually have value, like, she's going to figure that out if you spend enough time with her. That was at least my philosophy on the book, right? Like, this idea that, like, you got to, like, hurt their feelings and shit, so all of a sudden they like you. It's like, if you think you're the shit, I don't got to hurt your feelings. If you truly believe in yourself, right? So I was like, all right, this is a little bit corny, but what I thought was really important about it is that it took certain guys who could never fucking get laid and got them to a point where they could get laid. And ideally, with that tool, they could learn how to not misuse it. And I think that's the same with like dudes who don't know how to fight. They want to posture up and beat up everybody, right?
Yep.
And if you go to a fucking boxing gym, never one of those dudes try to start a fight with you.
And I'll say that.
Exactly. If you know how to fight, usually, you're not trying to pick fights with randoms, right? The problem with people is that you're trying to fight. You're trying to pick fights with people because you feel threatened one way or the other. Usually that's the case. Now you can say that's not true. It depends. There's some bullies, blah, blah, blah. But again, that's the exception to the rule. We're just saying just because you know how to fight does not mean you have to pick fight. In fact, usually it's the opposite.
It's like what our channel does is like we help guys prepare themselves to kind of like
You don't think so,
deal
Al?
with women in general.
Not at all.
I actually
Cap.
thought of that
Have you
book.
been to a boxing gym?
No, I'm talking about that book.
I thought about that
Do you
book
think
with
people
this
are really going to
specifically.
learn those tools and then have the wherewithal to learn not to misuse it?
I think at the end of the day, you
pussy and then continue.
What I'm saying is like when you first start boxing, like you start hitting the mitts and you look good in the
No,
fucking
I get
mitts.
that.
Like you in the bar, like ready, and then eventually you spar a little bit, you get humbled, right? And then you learn and you actually spar and you start humbling other people, and you're like, okay, I feel confident enough in myself. I don't need to misuse this power. And I think when you first start to get laid, you're like, oh shit, I could like have sex with women. I go out to the bar and it's kind of like up to me. Holy shit, this is fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think eventually you start going,
All right. See here.
I think it's actually like to a guy's detriment to think of women as these people that you're fighting, so to say. Like these.
Exactly. If you're in a space where you really feel like you have to fight women, and you have to camouflage that's holding women accountable, it tells a lot. It tells a lot, right? It tells a lot. So now, what am I saying? I'm not here trying to tell you that women should not be held accountable. I'm saying that's not your leverage point, okay? I'm saying yes, should be held accountable. I'm saying the strategy has to be well thought out, right? You have to think about the strategy and not just bark around social media like a lost person, right? Let's keep going.
These women are more nervous than you. Once a woman likes you, she's terrified she's gonna fuck it up. She's calling her friends, she's calling her father, she's calling her mother.
Andrew, you got to get to that point. So like the
That
thing
point
is
is a 30-minute conversation. She's like, I'm gonna
here's the
marry
thing.
this guy.
Hold on. Here's the thing.
See, another sign that Myron lacks game. He says you have to get to that point. No, he had to get to that point. As a matter of fact, he's not at that point yet, right? Some of us, right? It's like growing up. When we're growing up, we start to walk. At teenage years, we start talking to girls, and we feel up of the girl, and we're back and forth, 3 step forward, 2 step backwards. We eventually know how women behave. We know certain things that doesn't fly. Eventually, we'll continue to learn too. But if we have to teach you how to relate with the woman at the age of 23, no, that's you. Okay, he's 30, right? 32. That's really you. That's not everyone across board. And by the way, that's still the minority. I know people are very quick to quote 30% of men will be what's the word? Be a virgin until the age of 30. That sounds like minority. What happened to the rest of the 70%? That means they're not virgins, right? So let's keep going here.
Most dudes are invisible to most girls. Women only see a small percentage of men.
Top guys.
Most guys are virtually invisible to them. That's the reality.
So
I
if-
think
so-
I think if you enter
So that's the Tinder statistics that everyone is throwing around. Or women don't match as much as men match, right? There's a percentage that's out there of how many. You can help me in the comment area if you remember this, where women will match more often than men. It's always been that way. That's why you need game. You just by yourself in the history of billions of human beings that have gone through this system. You're not going to change this. You're not going to change this. It's a losing battle. In fact, the fact that you're trying to create this battle for yourself tells me that you lack game.
entering with that mentality, that's how you're gonna see it. But I think if you enter with the mentality like nobody should be invisible to me, I'm the fucking shit, that girl's gonna figure that
Of course,
out.
but we got to accept reality.
Yeah,
that,
reality.
a lot
That
of
is
girls-
reality.
That is
Hold on.
reality.
See, Myron and his minions keep calling their own feelings about the recorded data reality. No, the reality is now. The reality is your ability to have game. The reality is that the data that you're spewing all over the place is literally recorded data and not a direct 100% reflection of the real life today. Okay, things are evolving, as you can see. As a matter of fact, you're one of the variables why it's evolving, because of men like you, right? So I see a lot of people say that's the reality. They're very quick to say that's the reality. No, that's not the reality. Reality is what you're complaining about. And the fact that you're complaining about it and you don't want to deal with it in a more productive manner is also part of the reality.
So let me just add this, right?
Yeah.
So your point of view is from your experience, right?
Yeah.
We talk to guys and girls every night, every single day. We're actually in the dating field
That's not experience, that's a show.
every day, dating apps, sugar sites. We're in there in the field, learning real time. So when we give advice regarding this topic, bro, it's like we're in the field with girls right now.
In my
You're not in the field. You're on a show that's staged for the most part. You're not in the field. And even the situation that you got caught simping fresh, right, to a young white lady, that's not reality. Okay? Taking a young lady out to a yacht is not reality of the average man. That's something that you're able to afford because you have polarized opinions on the internet, and the gods of the algorithms are taking care of you and feeding you and your family, hopefully right now. That's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing. But let's not call that reality. That is not reality. That is, you have a show on YouTube that's popping right now. That's it. Okay?
Miami.
So, in Miami. So like,
Miami is not reality, especially the part that you're talking about. Are you talking about the hood of Miami, or you're talking about the strips of Miami? What are we talking about here?
his experience and him saying this is because we see guys suffering. That, you know, the hardest part, they don't know what to do. They're out here.
I
they want to
agree.
get girls. They know what to do.
Now he wants to save all of the 30% men who are going to be virgin until the age of 30. He wants to save them. Okay. Listen, I don't know if you can save them. It is what it is, right? I think if anything, you're able to relate because you were one of them, right? And you're still coming off as lame. And precisely why your YouTube channel is growing very fast, because it's lame. And yes, it's a reality. There's a lot of lame people out there. That's okay. It's not a crime. It's just you're socially awkward, right? That means you don't know how to relate with the present status, the reality of the present status of the social construct that we live in. It's okay.
So imagine
So
a
you
girl
teach
that's-
them to
a
trick girls into giving them
a
pussy?
girl that's capable and knows what she's doing.
That's unfair.
Meets a guy that doesn't know what he's doing. She's gonna take advantage. It's just human nature.
Well, why? I don't think she'll
And-
take advantage, to be honest with you. I think she just won't be interested. And I think that
Exactly. Low interest. Lame behavior creates low interest. Even if you're rich, even if you have access to all kind of bags and money and success, multiple six figures per year, if you're lame, there is a very good chance that she will not have interest in you. And if she shows interest in you, she's going to use you and dump you, and then you continue to perpetuate the story of the modern woman who ghost and dump you from time to time. Okay? Low interest is different from she's just deliberately out here trying to hurt you. Usually that's not the case. There are women like that. Majority of women are not like that. That's the minority still. Okay.
If we look at
That's
women,
the problem, though.
Yeah, but if we look at women like predators,
Yeah.
then that's a bad perception for a guy who's trying to find a woman that he wants to marry. Like for me, I'm trying to find a girl I want to marry, right? So I can't go into
And sorry, why won't I ask you, why are you engaging women that are predators for you, right? We call them predators, right? Why are you engaged or interested in a woman that's about to prey on you, right? I mean, why won't I look at you and ask you to look in the mirror to take responsibility for that, even if that exists, right? And again, back to the reality. Reality is that most women are not like that. That's just what you're attracting. You're busy chasing after IG models and sugar babies, and you're busy simping to them and trying to showcase them as the reality and using that to sell markets on YouTube. And that's what's going on here. Let's not cap. Okay.
a relationship with someone that I'm about to trust with my life and my kid's life as, oh, this girl's a predator. She's trying to get over me. She's trying to figure it out, right? I have to go in open, and then I actually have to go in going, oh my shit, do I really like this girl? Is this person I want to spend the rest of my life with? I know that she would want to spend the rest of her life with me because I'm a great guy.
Well, we tell guys to go in with
Open
defense.
mind.
And here's the thing too, guys.
Yeah.
But why
So
are
we're
they so
in a-
defensive? Why are they scared? It's like,
You got to be aware.
Because Myron and Fresh, especially Myron, are defensive and scared.
So we're in a
do
unique
they?
position.
It's not the forest, bro.
We're in a
You're
very
the
unique.
lion. Man, you're down to have a good time.
All right, let's go on to the
And
next
we've
one.
interviewed well over 1,000 girls on our podcast.
Yeah.
And there's been some things that have come up that made me realize, okay, this is why we have these issues with dating. The reality is this. I'm going to boil it down for y'all.
So you've interviewed well over 1,000 girls. I'm not too sure what that indicates. Okay, you have not researched 1,000 girls. I guess you could argue that that's research. I get it, right? But then you throw these girls questions that are designed to trigger them and create what do you call those moments on their show? I'm a fan of their show, by the way, just because clowns are highly entertaining to watch. Lunatics and clowns are highly entertaining to watch. That's why I am a fan. Just so you know. Frank Kazu moment. They call them Frank Kazu moments when they kick girls out, right? You ask this woman triggering questions that you already have an answer for, and you're about to teach people to have an open mind. You don't have an open mind, right? So, and I get it. For the sake of business, this makes sense. But again, for the sake of those that actually want to learn game, I have to react this way. It's bullshit, okay? So 1,000, you've interviewed 1,000 girls that belong to the streets that are usually looking to promote their IG pages. Like, come on, stop the cap.
Most women are delusional of where they think they stand, and most guys underrepresent themselves of where they think. So girls have an overinflated sense of ego for the most part, because we ask them all the time. We actually have a delusion calculator we use. We ask them, hey, what type of guy are you looking for? And when they put in their ideal man, every single time, he's in the top 1% pretty much.
The delusional calculator is funny as shit, by the way. But again, it's recording bullshit variables and data. So
very rare, We're talking well over 6 feet, over $100,000 per year, not married, not obese, etc.
Not weird.
Yeah. So
You asked the ideal.
No, of course, but they all think that they deserve that as well, is what I'm trying to say. They say that's what they want, and they feel that they deserve it as well.
and what? We all want ideal and deserve, right? That's what we all want. We all don't, as black kids, teenagers don't want to go to jail or die. We strived and we pushed against that rhetoric and that statistics, and we're still around after 40, right? And yes, the data are the data. The data, if you focus on the data will tell you your probabilities. But what we all pursue at the end of the day is possibilities as individuals. So why should that change right now? Now, what's the downside effect of you focusing on probabilities and not possibilities? You're gonna project that on every experience that's about to happen to you, and guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna attract what you fear the most.
Don't you guys
Right?
think you
So-
deserve your preferences?
Yeah.
No.
Here's problem. Good.
So, but these girls are not necessarily in a position to demand that kind of man.
These girls are not in a position to demand that kind of man. So you're going to tell them what they should demand. First of all, you're using the word demand, but these were just preferences, not demand, right? All right. So
when there's not enough of these guys to go around. You get what I'm saying? And then the thing is with that guy is that guy has the leverage, not necessarily the women, because once you get to a certain point as a guy, you now actually have the leverage where you're the commodity versus her. She's just an attractive younger girl, but there's plenty of girls like that. So that's what we've kind of found in a
Y'all
dating
didn't have
place.
broke
And
friends that got pussy growing up?
Here's the thing: they might get.
see, he's picking it up. He just knows that these guys are lame. Okay, no matter how rich or popular they get, they're lame. See, that's the thing. It's very hard to change. If you were a lame ass teenage boy, it's very hard. It's harder to change that as an adult. And normal people can pick this up. And it's not, and they always assume that normal people have not read books. Like he said earlier, he read a book called The Game, and he went through a phase as a teenage boy, and then after a while he realized that this is corny. To a large extent. There's some tips you could pick up from those books, but to a large extent, this is corny, right? Because at the end of it, it's taken away from the experience of life, which is natural. You learn, you fall, you stand up, you keep it moving. You go after possibilities and not probabilities. Dumb, right? In reality, there's a normal human being, right? Especially when we're talking about romantic relationships. But of course, they're very clear about, if this was business, we gotta be realistic. Like, that's bullshit. You're kicking against your very own nature. You're not leveraging your very own nature. And guess what happens? You stay losers when you act that way.
They might get girls or whatever, but are they going to be able to keep them? Are they going to be able to
I had a
consistently
friend.
maintain
We had
them?
a friend that he was my roommate. He would walk out of the house every day with an old hoodie with a mustard stain on it, and the guy got tons of pussy.
How
Bro, I was
long
getting
ago was
tons of pussy
this?
living with my parents, walking them into the living room.
So that's bad argument. I wouldn't the last thing you want to do is use anecdotal experiences to argue with Fresh and Fit or anybody like them. It doesn't work, okay? They will call you out on it and they will tell you facts over feelings all day long. So just so you know that I'm also on their side, but they're more so on the cap side, okay? But it's working for them to build their platform, so it's all good.
I'm seeing my mom drink Bud Lights.
Here's a problem.
Like, is this idea that like it's so hard to get laid and all this? That's the fallacy. The fallacy is that they're not as equally as nervous. What they are is bored. Women are bored with corny fucking pickup lines and shit. But
Yes.
teaching guys that they got to be terrified and they're these
Not
fucking
be
monsters.
terrified.
That's precisely what you're doing. All 500,000 people that are following you are terrified about women. And that's why they're showing up with that energy all the time. When you're scared of something, you're like that. And you're aggressive because you're scared of it, right? That's what's going on. The actions speak. Like, never mind what you say with your mouth. Your actions speak louder than words.
These predators,
Just
like,
go
man
in.
up. Stop being a bitch.
We don't tell guys to be terrified.
Nah.
We tell them to go in
Precisely. Stop being a bitch, okay?
and understand how women think, how they operate, and put yourself in a defensive position where you're vetting the girl.
Yeah, but
She's
that's
gotta
his point.
comply.
Why are you in a
Can I-
defensive position? Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, so you gotta basically put yourself in a position where she's complying to you.
Put yourself in a position. What is this? Keeping your eyes on the bag? No. Put yourself in a position she's compliant to you. It's all calculated and shit. What happens to you as a human being? You're missing out on life when you're overthinking the process like that. Listen, there's a space we get to, we have to learn some skill set. I particularly want to prescribe that Myron especially needs to learn game, okay? It's a skill set behind it. But him teaching other people to have all these guards up, you're going to encapsulate yourself in a kazu and you won't be able to get out. That's what's going to happen.
She's qualifying to you. Most guys come in thinking, oh man, I hope she likes me. Let me get the girl.
Yep.
What we tell guys is you need to come in and be like, take it or fucking leave it, and then have her comply to you, because when a woman is following your lead and a woman is feel like she's qualifying
Yeah,
to you,
you should have
that's when she's
standards.
attractive. But most guys don't come from that angle. They come from a scarcity
'Cause
mindset.
they're desperation, yeah.
And let
they're
me
nervous.
let me prove myself to her, blah, blah, blah. They kind of fall into the Disney fairy tale.
We should prove ourselves initially. We have to. They have the pussy.
All their talking points are defeated. See, women controls access to sex, right? Oh, and you still want sex, right? And you got dragged over the past few months for simping and raw dogging women, right? Even though you were teaching this young kids not to do that, right? Okay, so stop the cap.
If we don't prove ourselves, we can't enter. That's the game.
Here's the thing. I respectfully disagree with that to a degree.
I disagree.
He's absolutely right. Of course, they're gonna disagree with it because they don't know game. They're just regurgitating the textbook from somewhere, right? When a woman feels heard, you'll be able to penetrate everything. That's precisely what they are referring to as compliance. It's just not compliance, though. We're talking about a woman gravitating towards you and allowing you to penetrate everything, physically, emotionally, mentally, right? But it takes game. It's not just listening like a buffoon, like you're subjugated, but listening with an intention to make her feel comfortable, right? That is game. If making her feel comfortable sounds like, oh, somebody is simping to you, you lack game. Again, you're scared, you're terrified of women, and that's why you're being aggressive. That's what it comes down to. We can't make this up. This is just look at the results and see what you're creating.
Because she's gonna know that from
Can't
like
have
meeting
sex
and
with you
talking
without you willing to be have sex with me.
But
Like,
that's done with your existence. Like that's just from your energy, the way you operate, the way you speak to her, your tonality, your confidence, your leadership. She's gonna see that just off of messing with you. You don't necessarily have to brag about what you do.
no, I never said brag.
Yeah.
I
But
said she's gonna learn
shouldn't
just
be
from being
overt, is my
around you.
point. It
Of
shouldn't be
course
overt.
not.
It
Of
shouldn't
course
be
not. She's gonna learn from being around you who you
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
And ideally, there are things that you can do to like expedite that process. So there are certain dudes.
Yeah. So let's keep going.
But I think that you can respect if that person isn't interested. But as long as you continue to know, like, hey, listen, I like you and I think that you're great. And if you don't like me, that's fine. I'm not going to put any pressure. But please know, like, that's.
Wait, if you don't like me, that's fine. They've got a serious problem with that. If you don't like me, it must be because the statistics says that 30% of men are going to be virgins by the age of 30. It also says statistics says that a certain percentage of men will never get matches on Tinder. That's how they think because they lack game. But a normal human being, right? It will be talking like Andrew, right? If you don't like me, that's okay. I've got 2 billion other people to go after. That's an abundant mindset, right? Now, they try to teach they use the same terminologies, but in the wrong direction, right?
That's why I want to hang out with you.
But let's be real here. When a girl meets you for the first time, right? She already knows if she's gonna fuck you or not.
Facts.
So you playing games with her. Oh, let's see what happens. Bro.
No, that's bullshit. Some women will, especially women, men will know if you want to fuck you or not. Some women will know if they want to fuck you or not, okay? A lot of women can grow to like you and will eventually fuck you. All your absolutes are the bullshit. Basically, there's no absolutes in life. It's everything is in between at the end of the day. Okay, so so Fresh again try to come off as smart but just lame, you know.
Bro, she already knows.
I think that's some shit
That's
we
not
say.
true.
I don't think
It
that's
is
true.
true, 100%.
Matter of fact,
not
I have another friend, not a great looking guy. Shouts to Rel Battle. I hope you're watching. He said, every girl I've ever fucked said, I didn't think I was going to fuck you.
Yep.
And he goes, I know.
Well, here's the
Every
thing.
Women, personal experience. Women will say, I'm not gonna fuck you. All right, that means she's thinking about it. If she ever says that without you asking, right? Women will say, I'm not gonna sleep with you. She's thinking about it. Maybe she's trying to exercise some self-control or something, or she's not ready, or she's having doubts that she wants to do that or not. There's everything in between. So the idea that, oh, she already knows. No, again, you're talking about IG models. Stop the cap. It's not regular girls, not regular human beings, okay? Not Miami Strip girls, okay?
There might be exceptions to the rule, but most average guys struggle with women. And the thing is that from us talking with
No, Myron, you struggle with women, all right? Average guys struggling with women. That's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Eventually, men got their game together. 27, 28, 29, 30. Women will start chasing after them because women are attracted to status. Women are epigamous. You know this. You're supposed to know this, right? So if they can't look up to you, they struggle. So don't come at me because you're 18 years old and your 18 years old counterpart is interested in 25 years old. That's the natural way, typically. There's nothing wrong with that. A few of them will still be interested in you, by the way. It's just, it's about not necessarily game. Like, if they can look up to you one way or the other, you can make them laugh. Different array of different variables and too many moving variables, right? So the idea of coming to bring this down to an exact science is precisely what's telling me that you lack game.
Thousands of men, and at this point, well over 1,000 women on our podcast. Average women, girls that are very average,
Yeah.
expect that
Even his body language. Look at the body language, right? Let me show you real quickly. This right here.
they deserve a man that's well above average.
Good,
and that's
they
kind of
should.
where
Let me play that again. so
With
you
guys
can see.
is dishonest.
thousands of men, and at this point, well
All-
over 1,000 women on
all
our
of this?
podcast.
You know,
Average women, girls that are very average,
this is a guy that doesn't feel safe talking about women. He doesn't feel confident about the idea. I could just tell. You could just tell. Okay. You can ask any normal girl and say, "What do you think about this guy?" He says, utter two sentences. They're like, "Oh, he's lame." It doesn't matter how rich you get. Yes, money is a variable that can help things in the right direction, but trust me, if you lack game, you're just gonna multiply that. It's just gonna get worse. You're gonna create platforms like Fresh and Fit and start spewing rhetorics that are bullshit, that doesn't work in real life, right? All right, let's see here. All right, we're doing well. We're doing well. Let's keep going.
I mean, as far as like to get the best
You're
girl
not
that they can
teaching
get.
men to expect mediocrity. You're teaching men to expect the best things. So what's wrong with these girls wanting to expect
No, they
more?
can have their standards, but man, come on, let's be
Be
honest. Does every
delusional
girl-
in life.
See, he got caught in the corner there, right? He just got caught in the corner right there, right? Oh yeah, let's come on, let's be honest. No, we're not being honest. You need to be honest. You need to stop the cap, right? Stop trying to bring it down to an exact science, okay? It's individual by individual basis to a large extent, but it's also a game, a skill set that you need to learn. And clearly you haven't done that, and you're still trying to equate everybody across board, and your pushback against that is usually, oh, there's exceptions to every rule. We know that. Just like you always say, we know that too. But this is not the exception to this rule, okay?
When y'all decide to have a
every girl
podcast, right?
deserve,
But
you
think,
know-
when you decide to have a podcast and enter this podcast in space, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were delusional in your ability to believe in yourselves. You're like, oh shit,
Facts.
we're gonna create content that other podcasts, other blogs are talking about. We're gonna put an imprint on this space. That's delusion, and it worked. Delusion is America. Everybody should be
The
delusional.
American dream is delusion.
Of course.
Every girl should go in there going, I should have the best fucking guy.
I'm delusional. I'm hoping one day this platform will have 500,000 subscribers too. I'm delusional. You know what the chances are? Almost none. If you look at how many YouTube channels are out there that will never see audience, right? Almost none. Nonetheless, we believe in ourselves. We keep it moving. We apply skill set here and there, right? But somehow when it comes to dating, we're supposed to just stick with the stats. That's dumb. That's shooting yourself on the legs. That we don't know the end of this story yet. There are possibilities, right, that we've never seen before. And that's what makes the world that we live in today, right? And that's what they're trying to tell him. But of course, as usual, people like this are stubborn as shit. They don't listen to nobody. They have no elders that they listen to. Of course, they think they know it all because they've read all the books, right? And they've regurgitated all of the different stats and all that kind of stuff.
Every
we gotta
guy
be
should be, I
realistic,
have
too.
best fucking girl.
We gotta be
Fuck
realistic,
being
too.
realistic.
We gotta be realistic.
I ain't got nothing in my life from being realistic.
We gotta be
Real talk.
realistic,
My
too.
parents got nothing in their life from being realistic. I'll never be realistic once in my entire
But
life.
here's the problem: you got women 40 plus with no kids, with cats and dogs,
Mm-hmm.
home miserable. Why is that? Delusional. At some point, you have to be realistic.
Nah, there's other reasons. It's not delusion.
No, they are.
But it's not their
It's not-
delusion.
yeah,
that makes-
See, again, he's talking about the other gender, right? He's talking about the other gender. He's busy worrying about what women are doing, even though he's trying to claim he's a king. It doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work. You want to hold women accountable? Start with yourself, okay? They just can't come around you, all right? If they do, now that's the exception, okay? Now we could talk about what the exceptions are. So yes, sometimes you attract girls that just don't belong there, right? But it's only a matter of time before your energy can tell that they don't belong there as well, right? But again, we're using the same terminologies, but throwing them in the wrong directions, all over the place, messy.
Not their standards. They're crazy.
Yeah, they might actually
That's the
have
problem.
issues in their life.
Girls that are young have these same standards.
Girls should not have standard. They should get out of their fantasy world and face reality. No, that's bullshit. If you say that, you lack game, okay? And even if you're going to have them face a level of reality, anything like that, even if you're going to have them do that, there's a way to do it, right? From an attraction standpoint, from a showing up like a king standpoint, right? Where a woman would want to be nothing less than the best around you, right? as far as what you like, right? That they just can't wait to cater to you, right? That's game, right? As opposed to, oh no, let's just tell all of them that they're full of shit and they're not special. Something that he went on to tell the other lady on Off the Record podcast. You're not special. Why would you say that to a lady? That's stupid. That tells me you lack game, right? And then when you say that to a lady, guess what you're gonna attract? Let me show you what you're about to attract. You say that to a lady, this is exactly what you're going to attract.
Yo, with me, nigga. Fuck wrong with you, nigga? Come on, with my glasses. Get off of me before I drop your goofy ass again. Now beat that, bitch ass nigga. Pay for this shit. Hurry up.
No,
Pay for that shit and hurry up before I drop your ass again. Touch me, get on the drop.
Stop video for they
Quit
help
touching
me. You got my key.
Quit touching me.
help you.
No, come on.
Isn't that what happened in that moment with Brittany Renner? That's precisely what happened, right? Feminine men, 100% of the time, attract masculine women. It's just the way it works. That's the default. But it's chaotic when they are misplaced with respect to the social construct we live in, right? But if you get this right and stop trying to swim against the trend in the name of holding accountable, I think you will finally get it. Let me see here. All right. We're struggle streaming a little bit, but I think we're gonna be fine.
Standards too. And the thing is, they go through life living their 20s, having fun, but then when they get 30 plus, it's like, wait, I can't find a man. Why is that?
But what's the problem? They can't get married. The institution that y'all don't even want to partake in.
No, they believe in, you guys believe in nuclear family.
The problem is that, like these.
Ain't the Matrix.
Son, this red pill ass.
It is, bro. Guys out the Matrix. Back pocket, but like, bro, I'm telling you, it's not easy to find.
We talk to women every day. We have panels of between 5 to 15 girls on our pod.
We're gonna
every
digress.
night,
How many
every
of them
night.
went to college, bro?
Yeah.
A lot.
Almost all of them.
They call it right now sugar daddies, all that shit. It's crazy, bro.
Almost all of them.
Now that sugar daddy shit is happening. Now
It's
that shit is
real.
real. I ain't gonna
Of course, there's sugar daddies and sugar babies everywhere. That has always been part of reality. It's not modern women. It's always been part of reality. Sugar daddy, sugar women, brothels, women who are for the streets, women who just don't belong in a family setting. They've always existed. What is wrong with these guys? Right? What is wrong? Now, are there some things that are changing with the times? Of course, right? But you cannot point fingers with those things. You have to also look at it, learn how the game is evolving, and get what you want out of it, as opposed to bitching about it, right? These are the problems that we're dealing with, guys. These are the problems that we're dealing with. I think I have one more clip that I want to share with you from these guys. Let's go.
remember. There's some secret shit, but like the girls that are probably gonna hit y'all up
And
are
wanna
not
be on the
gonna
podcast.
and want to be on the podcast, and not even like even the girls who are like, it's fucked up what you guys say. Like I'm so different. Like let's go hang out. Yeah. They're also they're also trying to find their emotional comfort zone, right? Their preference.
No, fuck the emotion stuff, right? No, it's not about feelings. It's fact over feelings. We know what the science says. All right. Wrong. That's why you're not getting laid. Or that's why you have to pay to get laid. All right.
Also, they believe they deserve a guy who has the feelings you have about them. You see what I'm saying? Because their comfort zone is, I'm a predator, maybe I ain't shit. I need a guy to kind of treat me as if we're fighting over this thing of dominance, right? So the girls that are reaching out to y'all don't even realize that their fucked up mentality is gonna persist the belief you guys have about women. You're not having some girl going to church on Sundays hitting y'all up like, hey, let me take you to church, see what's happening.
That's 1,000 girls you talk to. There's 190 million in the U.S. You know what I mean? Like you hit a very specific cross section in Miami.
See, with people like me, with people like Flagrant, I hope that's his name, with people like Andrew, right? I'm not flattered by you talk to 1,000 people. You talk to 1,000 people or women, I've talked to 10,000 of them. Normal ones, right? Not the IG models, right? So we have a better picture of what we should be teaching you as your elders, especially as your elders, okay? All right? Or especially as wiser people, right? We have better picture because we've probably stayed in longer relationships. Also, we understand how women operate from a long-term relationship standpoint. But even because their usual comeback is that, oh, you stay with one woman and you want to teach us how to deal with, what about people that have dealt with thousands of women? Again, you don't know a woman if you haven't spent long enough time and depth in relationship with them. It's both, okay? It's both. And if you don't know what you're doing, especially if you're actively being aggressive and you're pushing against what we're trying to teach you, you don't know what you don't know. Again, you bring yourself to a position where you have to pay to get laid. Yeah, if that's what you want, then absolutely, there's nothing to fix. But if you're bitching around the internet, that means that's not what you want. Then it's time to pay attention. When you're confused, it's time to learn something new.
Girls who are going to want to come on this podcast, want to talk to you guys, look for validation. That's not even the average woman.
Hold
But
on.
we bring in a lot of girls from
all
different
over the
places.
world.
Girls flying to come on the show.
Canada, America,
They're still-
Europe.
But they still want clout, right? They still on the show
Yes.
because they want some exposure.
Yes.
Actually, something just like her friends say, "Yo, come on the show." She doesn't know.
All right, so yeah, that was an interesting one, wasn't it? Right. I've got let's see. I think I have one more clip to share with you here, and this is let me do this really quickly.